Aurora is the second largest city in the state of Illinois, and we have resources and the capability to negotiate with a large organization like the Chicago Bears.
Talk about this. Now the Bears were only looking at Arlington Heights. Now they're saying, hey, we're looking all around the state of Illinois, and you felt you had to put your name in the hat as well.
Absolutely. Aurora is the second largest city in the state of Illinois, and we have resources and the capability to negotiate with a large organization like the Chicago Bears. Look, in Aurora, we're open for business. We're looking for the Bears to come to the city of Aurora. We want them here. We welcome them here. We have a number of opportunities, land opportunities that we'll be sharing with them soon, and we're talking about what we can do to negotiate and give them incentive to come to the city of Aurora. We're the place to be. We just negotiated a large contract deal with the Hollywood Casino through Penn Gaming, $360 million facility here in the city of Aurora. Our team did that. We have the capability and the bench strength to be able to negotiate that. We're doing economic development all through this city, and this is the perfect opportunity to put a large stadium here in the city with restaurants, with other economic engines that help it move and help it grow. As a matter of fact, we have the second highest retail area in the state of Illinois, second to the Magnificent Mile, of over $2 billion in that area. That's right here in the city of Aurora. We have the Outlet Mall, which is the highest grossing TIF district in the state of Illinois that attracts 8 million people per year. And we're looking to bring something the size of the Chicago Bears here. We got the capability, and we're looking to bring them home to the city of Aurora. As a matter of fact, Aurora being the second largest city, we have a number of smaller cities around. We call our suburbs, and our sister cities, such as Oswego and Plainfield and even Naperville. We'd be looking to partnership with them to make sure that we use them to use their resources and bring those resources as part of the deal as well. This is big enough for all of us. Everybody can get a little bite at the apple. And here in Aurora, we want to be at the front of the line. And when we heard that there's a possibility that the Bears were going to be considered in other cities, we said, well, we need them right here in the City of Lights.
Did you think they were being serious about that? I mean, they've been looking at Arlington Heights for such a long period of time. Do you thought this was maybe an effort to get a better deal out of Arlington Heights?
Well, you never know. But, we have to take the opportunity when the opportunity is presented. Here in Aurora, we recognize that just because, it's the Bears and we see that name, the Chicago Bears, we think those billion-dollar price tags, it doesn't matter. It's about being fair. So when they come to the city of Aurora, we're going to be fair in our negotiations, fair in our incentive packages, fair at how we assess taxes, and not just look at that name and expect that it's deep pockets. As I said, we've done it with the Penn Gaming, one of the largest gaming organizations in the country, with the new Hollywood Casino here. That's going to be a casino, larger than any other casino in our state, a casino resort. We know we have the capacity to make sure we can negotiate and be fair about it. And I'm just sending a message out to the Bears ownership and leadership and management saying, look, welcome home to Aurora. We want to welcome you here, and we'll do everything we can and bend over backwards to make sure that we can make sure both parties are satisfied with our negotiations and making sure we get the ball rolling and get their organization set up in the city of Aurora.
How do you feel about your chances of doing this? You got Naperville, I think Lake Forest, Waukegan, all trying to vie for this along with Arlington Heights. How do you feel about your chances here in Aurora?
None of those cities are the second largest city in the state of Illinois. Aurora is the second largest city, and Aurora has, the resources and infrastructure to make it happen. These other cities don't have what we have to offer, and I just want to be able to be in a position to show the Bears what we have. So, we can entice them and say, this is where you need to be. This is where you need to call home. The City of Lights, Aurora, Illinois.
A majority of the time, the Bears have been right there at Soldier Field, downtown, right there on Lake Michigan. But then they'd have to hike all the way out here. Some of us who live closer to downtown say it's a hike to come out here to Aurora. What do you say to that when you're talking about the Chicago Bears not being in Chicago, but being here in Aurora as a possibility?
Look, this is the Chicagoland area. It's going to be the Chicago Bears, wherever they go in the Chicagoland area. And oftentimes you hear folks complaining about how difficult it is and how long it takes to park and get to Soldier Field, and the traffic that's there. There won't be as much traffic. So it may even take less time for a person that lives in the city of Chicago to actually get to a Bears stadium in Aurora than it would at Soldier Field with all the parking and traffic that goes there. So, I don't think that's an issue. I think that's something that we can overcome and get around. And I'm telling you, with what we have to offer here in the city of Aurora and our locations and all our infrastructure and all our other business entities, I think this is a good fit.
Let's say Kevin Warren is walking right down here, new to Chicago. You know about the elevator pitch. What would you say to him if you only had a minute this time?
I'd say Aurora is your home. It's where you need to be. We will treat you fairly. We have the capability, we have the bench strength and the staff to make sure we can get the job done and treat you fairly and treat you like you belong right here in Aurora.
When you saw that possibility opening up, was this a no-brainer for you as the mayor of Aurora, as the city of Aurora? Was it a no-brainer for the residents who live here?
This was a no-brainer to me because if you're not going to be in the largest city in the state of Illinois, what better to be in the second largest city with what we have to offer? So absolutely, it was a no-brainer to me. So as soon as we sent that, as soon as we heard about it, we sent that letter out, and hopefully we'll get a response. We got a response saying that they received the letter and they appreciated that we were extending the offer, and we're looking to set up a meeting with them as soon as possible and talk about making this happen.
You know, I'm assuming you've heard from residents. I'm assuming you've bumped into people, maybe at the local watering hole or at a restaurant or something like that. Have they said anything to you about the Bears possibly coming here to Aurora?
Well, let me tell you this. You know, immediately when we heard the Bears may be looking for a new home in Arlington Heights wouldn't work out, I got numerous calls from folks, you know, throughout the state that said, you know, I hear Naperville and Waukegan and other cities are putting in for it, but I think Aurora would be a better bet. And the way that you guys negotiate and are able to bring business over the 6 years during the Irvin administration to the city of Aurora, more economic development that this city has seen in 6 years than we've seen with all the mayors put together in the last 60 years, this could happen with the Irvin administration leadership, and we'll make it happen. So if you know, the Bears management ownership was walking by right now, I'd say welcome home.
You've run for public office, of course, here in Aurora, also the governor race. Compare those two. Do you think this is tougher than doing something like that? I mean, just trying to make it happen?
Well, you know, working hard and making things happen is what we do, you know, here in the Irvin administration. It's what I do as a leader. There's nothing too large, nothing too vast for us to recognize that we can overcome whatever obstacles put in front of us and you know, and get the job done. So when we talk about bringing a large organization like the Chicago Bears to the city, I look at it as an opportunity. I look at it as something that we can work to make happen, and not something that's so, you know, vast and, you know, unwieldy that we couldn't get the job done here in the city of Aurora. As I said, we just negotiated a $360 million deal with Penn Gaming for a Hollywood casino resort here in the city of Aurora. If we can do that, you know, sky's the limits. We can do anything.
And it's not odd to have a football team in a city that's not the one that's on their name.
Oh,
I mean, New York does it.
Absolutely.
Other cities do it.
You know, as I said, this, even though that the Chicago Bears will be sitting in Aurora if this all works out, it's still going to be the Chicago Bears. And we're going to be looking for folks. As a matter of fact, being a more central location, they'll probably get a whole lot more people from cities south of Chicago and south of Aurora that may not have wanted to make that track into Chicago, because we're a more central location and traffic won't be nearly as bad. So, you know, I think this is an opportunity for both the city of Aurora and definitely an opportunity for Chicago Bears. And hopefully, you know, if we can set this meeting up and talk about the future, you know, I think everybody will agree that Aurora should be their home.